At this point, it's dinner time and we're all starting to line up for chow. And I look at the guy and he's like, I'm not coming out of the cell. And I said, okay, well, I'm gonna go to chow. When I get back, we're gonna figure this out. Now it's chow time, so we all leave our cells, turn and start marching towards the chow hall. And we walk single file through this big maze of a prison. You all line up, you get your slop, your hamburger, your dessert, your glass of milk, or your cold sugarless tea. And now I'm looking around and there's nowhere to sit. And it felt like being in a new high school. All the cool kids are the different gangs and everybody's got friends, everybody knows each other. And I just felt like a big loser. And I hear Dirk and I look over and the table of white dudes who were on the yard earlier are flagging me over to their table. And so I have a seat and I start eating with the dudes. And these are all Arian Brotherhood, very typical shaved heads, swastikas, European flags all over, and just typical cast of, white prison inmates. And almost immediately the shot caller goes, "Did you handle that thing for us?" And I tell him, actually, he doesn't have a jacket, dude. I read his paperwork. The guy was just smoking crystal with a minor. There was nothing on there about sex or a skin beef or nothing like that. I was excited. I was like, hey, this is all a big misunderstanding. We're just gonna be friends, right? And he just kind of smirks at me and he shakes his head. I'll never forget the fucking evil in that face. He was like, nah, dude, a jacket's a jacket. When there's a kid involved, he's gotta go. And keep in mind, they are asking me to stab this dude. They haven't said it explicitly, but there's no fighting in prison, especially when it comes to sex offenders or gang beefs. If there's something that can be settled with words, you don't need to get in a fight. But if it is that serious, somebody's gonna get stabbed. And they're basically asking me to go commit murder. And he looks at me one more time, square in the eye, and he said, "Are you gonna handle this?" And I just said, no. The guy doesn't have a jacket. I talked to him. He's a solid dude. I'm not gonna do it. It's not that I was a hero. I was just on principle. I'm like, I'm not stabbing this guy. I'm not doing life because these dudes want me to take this guy out. I'm just not doing it. Because I knew if I stab this guy and he survives, I'm still getting 25 years minimum. If I kill him, I'm getting a life sentence. So my whole thought was, I would rather stab these dudes who are trying to kill me, and then in court, I can plead self-defense. So I was thinking analytically at this point. I was like, what can I do to not catch a life sentence? That's all that's going through my head. And I picked up my tray and I walked over to an empty table and I sat down and I ate by myself. And I looked over at them and they didn't get upset. They weren't yelling. They weren't puffed up. They were kind of smiling. And in a way, I think that I had either pissed them off or gained their respect. But I knew these guys were going to be trouble for my entire stay at Two Rivers. Hey guys, if you like that clip, make sure to check out the full episode here and subscribe to the channel over here.